Hi, friends. Patty McNitt here, and this is day one of the Pocket Shawl Challenge. You asked for it, you got it. I surveyed the 6 Day Kid Blanket group, 18,000 people, and I said, what do you want to do? And you all said, we want to do pocket shawls. So here we are, we're doing pocket shawls. And yesterday I came on and hello, Sanjay Itabala. Okay, maybe I got it right. I don't know. Um, Yesterday I came on and I did a swatch, the pocket swatch. So basically, the pocket shawl, the 6 Day pocket shawl, the Robo version is a giant swatch. So if you've never made a 6 Day kid blanket before, this is a great project. This is like a great big swatch, and you can use this project to make a 6 foot long, 5 foot long swatch, and you can try out all the different striping methods. You can try the original vivid chevron, you can do the snowflake effect, you can do the Australian confetti effect, the half snowflake, or the popsicle. You can try all those out on your pocket shawl, and then you could have a nice garment to wear afterwards. So, um, yeah, so basically your pocket is a swatch, a big swatch from with the straight start and the squared off top. And now we're going to put a little bit of ribbing on it, and I'm going to have a pocket here. Um, so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to do pocket ribbing. And then someday this week, I'm going to get old Boiler Robo herself on here, and she's going to help us do hopefully, she lives in Australia, so we have to find a good time that both of us can be awake to do it. And she can show us how to do that really super long chain and we'll get a pocket shawl, a sideways pocket shawl going, and I'll show you how to do one of those. The sideways pocket shawl, you make it super long, and then you fold the ends up as the pockets, and then we put edges on the side. So both of the pocket shawls are no sew. You connect the pocket as you work the edge of it, so there's no sewing on of pockets. How do you all like that? So I know I'm on, let's see if I can figure out if I'm live everywhere. Yeah, okay. Okay, it's early. Not a lot of people up. Let me go ahead and flip this and let's get started. I always do that. Hi, Facebook user. Okay, this is my swatch from yesterday. You see me in besties. Great. Looks like I'm everywhere, just not a lot of people popping on. People might be at work, at jobs. People on the other side of the planet might be sleeping. Okay, so if you were with me yesterday, you might know that I was working off of this ball of yarn, and I did something funky. It started tangling up on itself, so I'm just not going to use this on the live today. I'm going to set it aside and maybe let the cats play with it. And so I have an end here that I have to deal with, and I thought I would just show you how I deal with an end. Hey, Courtney. Okay, the last stitch of the row, I leave the last pull through of it undone, and I pull the new color through. And then I take the two ends, the tails, and I flip them up over my working yarn. And I hold them to the back, and I hold it kind of tight, and then I start my chain for the next row. So, hey Amy, how many have I done? I got to go back. Okay, that's my pull through. 1, 2, I'm doing 7, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I'm just going to do 5 because I'm on a live video and that'll make it go faster. So we're going to do the ribbing. So I think a chain of 7 is a nice length of ribbing. If you want more ribbing, just make it longer. If you just want a little ribbing like that, just do like 3. I think 3 is the least you can do. And you know, you can make it as wide as you want. Hi, hello. People are popping on now. Okay. So now you see my ends because I flipped them up like that. I don't have to tie any knots. They're, you know, they're dangling, but they're not going anywhere. They're fine. I'm not going to put this in the washing machine or anything like that. So this is not coming undone. And then what I will do at the end is I'll take this dark blue and I'll weave it in that way. And this light blue will get woven in that way. And usually I work over them um, for the base round of my border. I do a base round of single crochet and I'll just split them like that and I'll work over them for like 1 stitch in each direction and then let them keep hanging. And then I go back after I'm all done with the border and weave them all the way in. And when you're weaving in ends, you want to, like this end is going this way. So I'm going to change direction. So I want the yarn to change direction. So I'm going to go down this way and then maybe I'll go up this way. So see how the yarn is changing directions and that keeps it, you know, keeps it secure, a little bit more secure. Okay. What did I do? This looks really twisted. Yep, I twisted it. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna start working in towards my towards the top edge of my pocket. And if I think I mentioned this yesterday, if you want your pocket, one of them to face down like the other side of the scarf, then you would just start this ribbing on the bottom of the pocket. So you're going to have your pocket shawl scarf, and one side's going to be going this way, and one side's going to be going that way because it's one piece. So I like both of my pockets to be this way, but if you want if you want it to match the direction of the scarf, you just do your ribbing on the bottom side. But I like mine both going up. Okay, and then we're going to start second chain from the hook. We're going to single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is kind of twisted. And then you're going to slip, working across the top of the pocket, slip stitch 2 times. And then you turn, and now I'm working on this little piece of single crochet, back loop only, 1, 2, 3. And now this is just me. I like to work the very edge stitch always under both loops. I just think that feels a little more secure to me. I think I saw Bella Coco doing that. I think that's why I do it. Chain 1 and now back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slip stitch 2 times across the top stitches of the pocket shawl and turn. And just repeat that across. 1, 2, 3, and then going under both loops, chain 1, and then I go under both loops on the first stitch, and then back loop only, whoops, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch 2 times, slip, slip. Okay, you can see my pocket ribbing starting to form up there. Courtney, I did not find my hooks. Every once in a while, and I'm sure I'm not the only person in the world that has to do this, every once in a while, I need to just go through all my baskets of stuff that I have around, baskets and bags and things that I have lying around with projects, half done projects in them. And I just need to like clear all that out and reorganize. And I also I cleared out a filing cabinet not too long ago, and I'm going to put all my swatches in the filing, the little, it's not really a cabinet, it's just a plastic bin, and it has the file, where you put the file folders in it. And I cleared that out. It had a bunch of old papers, financial papers from my prior life, old stuff, and I cleared those out, and I'm going to use that for my swatches. So that's a project. But I've been busy with new designs. Oh my goodness, I have so many that I'm working on. Oops, I want to go back loop only. So many in progress. Um, and I've also been working on my new membership site. Good morning, 6-day fam. It's the challenge. Anyone doing a pocket shawl, all those people that voted, every single one of you. Um, and also starting all the designs. Yes. Oh my goodness. And then I had another idea on the live yesterday, for heaven's sake. I've been also working really hard on my new membership community. I'm moving my Patreon community over to another network, and I'm going to launch that really soon for people to join. It's really, really great. The new membership site is, it's a very different experience from Patreon. It's really nice, really nicely organized, easy to find everything. Um, and we have our first Zoom call tonight. And then next week, I'm going to start a little, this is an experiment, but I'm going to do a knitting class for crocheters. So if you have always struggled with learning to knit, or you want to learn to knit, you're a crocheter and you want to learn to knit, give this a try. It's free. You have 2 pocket shawls. Somebody has 2 pocket shawls in progress, but is going to start a new one for the challenge. That's awesome. Yes, the new site is much more user friendly. The Patreon site really was not. It's like I give you all these perks and pattern PDFs, and you can't find them, and exclusive. So that, and the Patreon had tiers. It was like you could join at $1 a month, $3 a month, $5. There are no tiers in the new membership site. It's just the same price for everybody, and everyone gets everything. It's all the same perks for everyone. Heather's all ready. Yeah, so you have about a week. It starts next Tuesday, right? The knitting class. So I'm gonna start you all off with, you're gonna need a 16-inch circular needle and some yarn. And I think I had you all get, some bulky weight and a size 13 needle. Get some really nice heavy needles, some thick yarn. Pick something smooth and light colored. It's easy to see your stitches. And then you'll need double points because we're going to work in the round. I'm going to get you guys working in the round, and you need your crochet hook because we're going to use that. Help y'all get started on some easy knitting projects. Because, when you can crochet really fast and then you try and pick up two needles and make like a garter stitch scarf, it's like, no. Got all my. The yarn does not need to be all in one skein, no. But I mean, just like crochet, it is easier to see lighter colored yarn. So if you have black or dark blue, you're just making things harder on yourself. But just if you've already crocheted with that yarn, then you're probably okay. But I mean, I'm always one for enabling more yarn purchases. So, girl, if you think you need a lighter color yarn, go get some. Just go get some. Go get yourself some. You made a bunch of garter stitch scarves. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I love garter stitch. I'm going to be honest. But I remember when my grandmother first showed me how to knit and I was making garter stitch, I thought I was doing something wrong because it didn't look like, like my sweater. And it didn't look like the stuff she was making. And I absolutely could not fathom how somebody can make a sweater because all I could think about was making this square thing. Yet garter stitch takes twice as long to make the same size, you know, same length of whatever it is you're making scarf. And I mean, it's way longer than it would take you to crochet it. If you were crocheting it, you could be done with the whole scarf by the time you get about this much, done. Did I knit or crochet first? I crocheted first. I just watched them. I sat and watched my mom doing it, and I figured out how to do it, and she, got me unstuck on the places I couldn't figure out myself. And I just thought, I mean, my grandmother was the only one that knitted. The rest of them just crocheted, as far as I can remember. Um, but I just thought, do you all see what's going on behind me with these cats? It's kitten time. Um, yeah, I think I was about 7 or 8, and I asked my grandmother if she would show me how to knit, and she did. And I just thought it was, I was one of those kids, maybe y'all have kids like this that get obsessed about something, obsessed. And all I could think about was knitting. And I just thought it was so cool that I could make something with string, with yarn. And I was obsessed with yarn and making things. And I did okay for a while with knitting, but then I think my grandmother went home or wherever she went, and then there was no one, there was no one to help me. And I tried to figure out how to knit and purl on my own, and I didn't understand that you have to change the yarn to the other side of the work in between the needles. I couldn't get that. I was like 7 or 8 years old, so I just couldn't get it on my own, and I got bored with it. But I kept crocheting. And then later in life, I thought I really want to knit again. I actually had a project I crocheted and it fell apart. And because I didn't weave in the ends, I just worked over them. And the whole thing fell apart and I got mad. And I thought, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I started knitting. Okay. Um, all right. Now that I have the ribbing across the top, I'm going to work that base round of single crochet around the pocket. And this is important because we're going to work this base round of single crochet around the pocket. We're going to work the base round of single crochet around the scarf section. And then we are going to, when we start our edge, we're going to do another single crochet round and we're going to work through both of these rounds. And that's how we're going to attach the pocket to the scarf section. Okay, so I'm going to single crochet down the side. I'm just going under both loops of this ribbing here. Whoops, I want to go under two loops here. Let me just find them. Then I'm going to start going down this side, and now I was good this time, and I didn't add any extra stitches. So if you don't add extra stitches as you go down, you should be able to do approximately one stitch in every single crochet inside of each single crochet, two stitches in the side of each double crochet, and two stitches in the chain. But really, I don't like rules like that because I really want this to lay flat and not pucker and not ruffle. So I'm just going to eye it. And the best book on borders is, well, there's two of them. Edie Ekman's book. One of them is Around the Corner Crochet Borders, and the other one is Every Which Way Crochet Borders. And I was going through them the other day because when I'm designing a border for a blanket, that's my go-to. Is I go to one of her books and I either use one of her borders exactly or I make an adaptation of it. Um, but even Edie Ekman, whom I admire quite a bit and I've taken classes from, even she says you have to play with it. There's no exact formula. You have to play with it. Okay, so I'm just going to lay it down. I personally prefer to work into the stitches, and that's what Edie suggests also in her book. I like that little line of yarn underneath the stitches. You can work into the spaces if you want. It just to me it looks clumpy, and especially for this project because we're going to use that single crochet row to attach to the border of the scarf section. You just want it to be nice and even. And I think that looks pretty good if I do say so myself. And I go under 2 threads of that side stitch and I leave 1 below. 2 on top and 1 below. Oh, and I should say the yarn I'm using is Mandala Ombre. And this color is called Mantra, Mantra. I don't think this one I started with is Mantra because it doesn't have any green. This Mantra has some green in it, but I don't remember the name of this. I'll have to look it up. Yes, they are very pretty. Can you all get them in Oz? Okay, I'm going to do 3 in the corner here. It works up really soft. I did some 6-day kid blanket hats in them last year, and I loved the way they felt. Maybe I'll make a matching hat for this. Just working into the bottom of the work, getting into my starting chain, which is nice and loose because I use that big old hook to make it. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Courtney is our amigurumi. Bunny loving. 3. I don't know what that sound was. I just heard this dinging sound. Let's see what's going on. Well, Restream must have done some upgrades because their bots, comment bots, are working better now. But I still don't know what that sound was. Or this dinging sound. Everything's flat. Courtney, tell us what you're working on in the Goth Fairies Creations Lab studio. Come on, Betty. She's got a new lovey for us. Sweet. I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody at the on the Zoom tonight. I hope everybody can make it. We haven't been having our Zooms. I guess it's only been a month. We decided to just go like um, we were doing them weekly. Oh, my stream is breaking up. I think that's the problem here. Let's see. Mm, yeah, I think my signal's weak this morning. She's the yarn. She's working on the next lovey, and she has a full bunny doll design. She made a body for the bunny. Meow, who's saying meow like that? Who's saying meow? What's up? The bunny will also have clothes. Oh, that is so cute. Wow, you have a lot going on. Lay it down often and admire it when you're working on your edge and check it all over. Make sure it's flat. I'm coming up on these ends that I had from before. This part's kind of a pain. It's like working into your starting chain, but it's worth it. Not everything is easy or fun. That's exciting, Courtney. You have a lot of good things going on. That's exciting. We can't wait to try them all. Okay, there's my end. I'm going to hold it over here. Okay, I'm just going to work over it for a couple of stitches. It's not the it's not the end. That is not woven in. That is not secure. Okay, now it's just gonna hang there. And now I'm gonna work over this one going that way, just maybe one stitch or two. I feel like I'm going kind of right into the knot there. Oh, that's okay. All right, I'm going into the bottom of the starting chain for the ribbing. That looks a little too spread out. Let me go one more. Nice. Do you have a tester pool, Courtney, or do you need one? Okay. And then I'm gonna cut this. We're gonna have another end. I didn't really leave enough for my taste, but yeah, I usually leave them until the very end because number one, I'm lazy, and number two, I do like to work over them for one or two stitches. And then if you're doing a 6-day kid blanket and then you just have these chains to work to weave into going up the sides, it doesn't feel like there's anything to weave into there. So I like to do a little, start my edge, and then that way I have the edge that I can weave ends into if I need to. Yeah, next on the list is to do some call outs to the amigurumi friends as well. So if you like amigurumi, reach out to Courtney. You want to be on her tester squad. I don't know how she's going to vet people or what, but if that interests you, go ahead and reach out. All right. I have a bunch of pockets here and I have a scarf section. So I made this scarf section. I made it kind of short so that I could work on it on the lives and not have it take like forever. Yeah, it's when you say smoothed out, do you mean squared off? The top and bottom are square. You can start square, you can start straight, start with the straight start technique, and then square off the top. And if you happen to have a swatch that you've made that you want to turn into a pocket shawl, there is a way, the old fashioned way, the way we used to do it was we used to just make the bottom regular and then go back after the fact and square it off. It was just recently with this last pattern release that I came up with a way to start it straight. So if you have a swatch that you want to turn into a pocket shawl, then you can square off the bottom. Smooched in. Yeah, that is actually the point of this ribbing, is to bring your pocket in, have it be a little bit tighter across the top. So yeah, your ribbing will definitely pull in just a little bit. You don't want it too much because you're going to connect it to the scarf, so you don't want the whole thing. But you just want it enough so that when you stick your hand in there, it doesn't just flop open. And this is also why I tell people not to make it wider, because if this was this wide, and then that pocket is just going to flop open. So I feel like I could attach these. How long has it been? But I don't have stitch markers sitting here. Um, where are they? I mean, who knows where they are actually. I think they might be they might be upstairs. Well, I could just wing it without them. Um, Let me just take a little piece of yarn and I'll just do this. Just tie it. I'm glad you like it. I don't even have to tie it. That's good enough. Okay, let me go down to the corner and I'll just take one of the ends. Wait, that's not good. Let me just do a new one. You count up from the center of the corner. You don't use stitch markers. Well, I just use them to attach, to hold the two pieces together. Well, that's the middle one right there. And then, what did I do there? I chained one. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, you all get the idea. You use your stitch markers or some other method to hold them together and hold them in place. I didn't tie this one. Okay. Betty McNitt never ties knots until she does. Okay, so where's my yarn? All right, now I'm going to start this edge. And we don't have to join and chain up. Your breakfast smoothie matches my pocket shawl. Is it blueberry? I love blueberry. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Let me make sure I'm doing what the pattern says to do. I think I closed the document. What was I thinking? It's not possible that I closed that. All right, let me open a new one. I just want to make sure I'm doing it the way the pattern says to do it, because this will be on the internet for all time. And when you make a mistake in a video, it follows you around for the rest of your life. It's like very hard to correct. Okay. It says to start anywhere on the side and then single crochet. Square the top edge, pockets, pocket edge, pocket edge, pocket edge. Work shawl border. Work a row of single crochet around the entire piece. That is right. Thank you. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I thought maybe I went right to the double crochet row or something like that. I have all these stupid strings everywhere because I didn't bother to get stitch markers. Okay, I can take it out now. First corner of my pocket shawl, stitch to stitch. Okay, you can work under both stitches, both, loops of each if you want, or you can do back loop to back loop. So let me make sure I know what I'm doing here. Okay. You can do back loop to back loop if you don't want it to be as thick. To me, it feels sturdier when I work under two loops. And I'm thinking I'm going to put my hands in these pockets and maybe my glasses, my remote control, my phone. I don't want that join to be relying on just one strand of yarn, you know? Like that's my same thought process when I think about um, like starting a blanket with a magic circle, you know. Now I'm putting all the weight of the world onto one strand of yarn, two strands of yarn, you know. Okay, I can take this one out. Yeah, you can always use a piece of yarn as a stitch marker. It just takes a little more effort. I have a million stitch markers somewhere. Somewhere they're hiding with all my crochet hooks somewhere in a corner and they're laughing at me. They're laughing. And they're probably hanging out with the missing socks and the forks in my house. I don't know how this happens, but I have no forks. How do I have a bazillion spoons and no forks? Like, where do they go? I don't take them out of the house. What in the actual heck? You know, it's the spoons at your house. A stitch marker display. That's true. That would be great. But I would, knowing me, I would have the stitch marker display would have like one stitch marker on it because all the rest of them would be like off with my project baskets. It's time to go through the project baskets and do some organizing here. Betty McNitt. Okay, and just like a normal corner, I'm gonna do three single crochet in the corner. What in the world is this right here? I have this weird little stitch back here. What the? Oh my goodness, I can't even get under it. This is embarrassing. Okay. Ooh, that's tight. Gonna go get my nails done later. They're really grown out, but none of them fell off this time. So that's good. Sometimes if they're too long, they come off. I was wondering if pocket shells were going to be a thing again this year, because remember how trendy they were last year? I was wondering if anyone was going to be making them this time. Your dog steals the stitch markers? Aw, that's so cute. Dogs are the best, man. I miss my dog and all the goofy stuff they did. So one thing this came up yesterday and I feel like I started talking about it, but I lost my train of thought or answered somebody's comment or something and I never completed my thought. But when you are working on your pocket shawl or any long item, you're crocheting or knitting, and you have this long thing that you're turning all the time, you're turning, and you're turning. And when you keep turning it the same way, you're going to twist your yarn. So see if you can get in the habit of turning one way and then turning the other way, okay, when you turn your work. Otherwise, you're going to end up with um, you're going to end up with twisted yarn right away, over twisted yarn. Um, Somebody reached out to me, and I forgive me because I don't remember who it was, but they said they had discovered that if they if they were mindful of the way they turned their work, that their edges didn't curl. Okay, 3 single crochet in the corner. But yeah, if you're ever working something with more than one skein of yarn attached to it, you will make things easier on yourself if you turn each time you turn your blanket, you do it in the opposite direction. Blanket or your project sweater, whatever it is. And that keeps the yarns from twisting together. Or even if it's only one skein of yarn, it'll start to twist and kink. I didn't think I was going to get this far today. I'm going to cast on a sideways one. So I can show you all how to do that one as well. This yarn really reminds me of my childhood because I liked denim stuff. It just takes me right back, and we're talking about when I was, young and learning to knit. I would have loved this yarn. Oh my gosh. Didn't have all the choices now that we, or then that we have now. Of course, it was like solids and variegated, acrylic. That was it. Okay, I have this little end here that I didn't cut long enough. I'm going to work over it for a couple stitches, but that guy's going to be an issue. It's not tight enough. Just going to work over it for one stitch. And I'm going to send it back. Change directions, right? This guy's going this way, so I'm going to make him go that way. Let me do this with a hand, that works. Can you all even see what I'm doing? I'm off camera. Here we go. Of course, I'm going to regret weaving that in later when I have to take this apart because this is a too short of a pocket shawl. I'm going to probably want to take it apart and make it longer. But whatever, it's secure. Bye, Amy. Good luck with your car. I think I'll do this one. I have multiple pockets over here because I've done this video several times. Whoa, what's happening here? Hang on. Something down here is coming undone. We can't have that. Okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here, and I can put this other pocket on tomorrow, and then hopefully um, hopefully old Boiler Robo can come on tomorrow or sometime, and we can cast on that other, the sideways one, and get that going. So let's see. Woohoo, I did it right this time. So wherever you're at on your Pocket Shawl, make sure you post a photo. I guess I have to load those, I have to load those posts for you so that you can um, put your day one progress photo in the comments of the post I'm going to make for you for day one. And then you all know the drill. You've been doing this with me for a while now. So, all right. Um, I will see you in the groups. You all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow sometime.
Pretty big head.